Hello. Oh my goodness gracious. Is this where I'm supposed to be? Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Today's a craft and chat, guys. So we are going to craft and we're going to chat. Ideally, we're going to craft. If I can get everything together. Oh, okay. Good morning. All right. I have stuff everywhere. Good morning, guys. Craft and chat today. We are doing a craft and chat. I'm trying to get myself together. Sorry. You guys ever come into your craft room and you're like, okay, you need to prepare if you do shows. Okay, you need to prepare for this, that. And then I got sidetracked and started working on a different project that's wasn't setting up my craft and chat stuff. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Paula. If you're new from Peace and Creations, welcome in. Welcome in. I can't find that stuff to save my life. Sorry for the reach. Sorry for the reach. I didn't even turn on my light. Hold on. Maybe now you can see. Do you guys ever lose things in your craft room? I have no idea where I put. Oh, well, I guess I can use these. I was looking for my little index cards. Because we're going to do, I'm going to make some. So today we're going to make some of those. Here, let me show you guys. I call them palm-sized journals. So they're just little palm size, maybe even a little bit smaller than palm size, but they're made using decoupaged napkins on 5x7 index cards, and then I do sew around them. I used to sew in the signatures, but I found that I can staple them in as well. You can also sew with the sewing machine because they're meant to be small so that you can fit them in your bag as just a really small little notebook, so to speak. And then, so I'm going to make a few of these. Good morning, guys. Good morning. For the Botanical Bliss raid train. So you can really make them right any way that you want to make them. And it's a good way to kind of use your scrap papers too. This one just so happened to have just all the lined paper, but it's a good way to use like your scrap papers and other small pieces of paper that you might have as well. So yeah, so I have a lot of floral napkins. So that's what we're going to do today is just make a few of these. You guys have any questions, let me know. I used to also like add eyelets and kind of gussy this up, but it, yeah, it just seemed like there was less of an interest of them being slightly gussied up, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. All right. So I always start because now the one bad thing about these are you do end up having to let them dry, or you can use your heat gun and let and dry it that way. But it just so happens that at some point in time I coffee dyed these. You don't have to coffee dye them because you don't see them through the napkin. You see the inside of it right on the inside of the notebook, but you don't have to coffee dye it. Oh, sorry. I have a lot of napkins. Lots. And this is just an extra mat that I have that I usually use to decoupage just so that I'm not getting this mat completely and utterly paint filled and sticky. Although I do need to switch this mat out. But how many of you guys like to decoupage on with napkins? Raise of hands. Raise of hands. Good morning, guys. Good morning. My name is Paula. If you're new here, PSE and Creations. Today's just a craft and chat. If you do have any questions, let me know. I do have one journal in my auction tab right now. It's a sewing pattern one that I made. I am working on a Cinderella VHS journal. So if you're, oh, thanks for the raid. Somewhere in Time Vintage. Thanks so much, friend. Today's a craft and chat. Welcome in, guys. My name is Paula from Peace and Creations, and we are going to just craft and chat. We are making what I call little palm-sized journals. So you use a 5x7 index card. This is a napkin that you decoupage on there, and then you just add scraps, pieces of paper in there. Fits in your purse, in your backpack, in your diaper bag, in whatever bag you want to use. Thanks so much for the raid. I appreciate you, friend. I hope you had an amazing show. Oh, thanks so much. The Wes family. Wes family. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. It was a fun show. Good. I'm glad you had a fun show. Welcome in, guys. Yep. So, Anne. Okay, Anne, thanks so much, friend. Is it Anne? Is that right? My mom's name's Anna, but when she came to the States, and she started working at where she started working, there was already an Anna, ANN, not with an E. Um, they called her Anita, Anit, wait, Anita. Yeah. So I get confused with all of it. Annie, okay. So I'm like, which is what? We're from Argentina. Yeah, we're from Argentina. And when we came to the States, we moved to Arizona. And she was working at a hotel at the time. And so, yeah, I thought it was very interesting because the 30 something years that she worked there, for the company, it was like everybody knew her as Anita. But I'm like, I'm not sure who that is because my mom is Anna. As I got older, obviously, it was more or more apparent, right? Why they would call her that. But like her name tag, everything would be Anita. And I'm just like, okay, well, cool, cool. As I grew up, I knew. I worked at the same hotel as well once I got to working age. So it was it was just very interesting to me. Hi, Jess. How are you, friend? Yeah, I know exactly, right? Well, you know what's funny is that if and I don't know if they did this in retail too. I only worked in hospitality, which is what they call the hotel industry. So I've only worked in hospitality my whole life. I'm at the corporate office now, but um, I've always worked for hotels, and it really is true when you're at a hotel, like, what they call it on property, working on property. If you for whatever reason forget your name tag, you just grab a spare name tag, and all of a sudden that day you are who that name tag says you are. Um, it's the funniest thing though, right? Because somebody will be maybe using the name on the name tag, and you're over there not knowing who they're calling, but they're calling you because you forgot your name tag. So it's very funny. All right, so we're taking two 5x7 index cards, guys. These just so happen to be coffee dyed, but you don't need to coffee dye them if you don't want to. And I do two of them just because I'd like to add a little bit of stability. You can probably do one if you want. It's up to you. I think two adds the stability that I like at least, and it makes it seem like a heavier card stock. Especially if like you get the index cards from the Dollar Tree. Sometimes those are slightly lighter, so you probably do want to have two there for sure. I usually get mine from Target. I like for some reason, their index cards, um, whatever their brand is that they have at Target. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's Walmart too. I don't know. Walmart and Target, fine. But again, I add two. We are just working on making these little palm size journals that are great to use scrap papers with. You can use whatever type of napkin. These are all napkins, so whatever type of napkin you have. Today we're going to work on the floral ones because I have a raid train next Sunday, hosted by our good friends Punky Rock Princess and Neva Miss Fines, Botanical Bliss. So that's why I'm doing. So hopefully that explains what we're going to work on. And welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's having a blessed weekend. It is raining all day today, so highly doubtful that I will leave the house. Although I found that there's a fabric store like 20 minutes from my house. It's called, what is it called? G Street Fabrics in Rockville, Maryland. I live in Maryland, by the way. And I was telling my husband about it last night, and he's like, "Well, do you want to go tomorrow?" He's like, "I know it's going to rain, but it shouldn't rain that hard." So, anyways, oh, thanks for the purchase, friend. I love that vintage trim. Let me know if you want me to show it to you. Um, but anyways, so we might hit that fabric store. Not that I need more fabric, because I don't. But if he's going to offer to say, "Hey, do you want to go to the fabric store?" I may not offer to say no. I'm just saying. I'm a Mod Podge girl, guys. I know that there's a plethora of ways to decoupage your napkins onto um, any kind of surface. I know that some people do the, what is it? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The plastic wrap, and then you iron it. Um, but I'm not that kind of girl. I like the Mod Podge. It doesn't bother me. I use the matte one, so it's not glossy. So, and I think I've showed you guys before, but laminate, yes, okay, yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. You can do that too. Um, Actually, that's a really good idea if you wanted to do that with these. I've never thought about that. Um, you can run it through actually a laminating machine as well, and then on the inside, right? Because it's going to be white. On the inside, you can use dry erase markers on laminate, like actual laminate, not the the plastic stuff that they use for the napkins. Oh, um, oh no, okay, no, it's that plastic wrap. So some people do where you do the plastic wrap. I think I've never tried it. Maybe I'll try it one day and then I can share it with you guys. But there's tons of YouTube videos on it. I've just never tried it where you put plastic wrap down and then you put the napkin down and somehow the heat adheres to, like, you don't put the iron on the plastic wrap directly, FYI. And somehow it adheres it. Oh no, wait, no. Is it wax paper? Shoot. Don't listen to me, guys. Don't go out getting plastic wrap and then messing up your irons or your don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, look it up, please. Okay. Yeah. Don't listen to me on that one. I've never done it. Anyhow, I like Mod Podge. Do you see why I keep it simple? Because as soon as you complicate stuff. Anyways, I want to show you guys this one too. If you guys want the more antique look, so more of the yellow brown look, this Mod Podge, it's called Antique Matte, is really cool. It really will give it that effect of more. So this one, for example, that has the more of like the white, right? Background, it will make it look more like yellowish brown when you Mod Podge it and it dries to give it more of that antique vintage look. So this one's pretty cool. I like this one. Parchment. Thank you, Heirloom. Thank you. That's it for sure. I know 100%. I've just never tried it. Yeah, it's really cool. How they do it, but again, it's not my cup of tea. I'm more of a, let me just bloop 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 bloop. Okay. Um, I'm just grabbing my tape. I'm just going to use a little piece of masking tape. Yeah, I'm going to just use a little piece of masking tape so I can take my uh my layers off. Always keep your white layer. You can use it as a layering on a tag. You can use it to make faux paper. You can use it for so many things. Maybe we'll use this one as our first one. One other thing that I try to do is this one only has one. It's just I think it's a 2-ply. So sometimes you don't even need this. Like this right here, I probably didn't even need it because it was already pulling up. But that's pretty much how you take it off. And like I said, I always keep the whites. I always keep the whites to use in some way, shape, or form. I like it sometimes too, like if I have a dictionary page that I'm putting in a journal and I kind of want to mask it a little bit, if you add the white, it kind of masks some of the words or images or whatever as well. You can do multiple layers of it and it still doesn't make it super bulky and thick, which is nice. It's very simple, obviously. This is not an earth shattering process. Super duper easy. You just pretty much find where and how you want to position it and you decoupage it down, right? I want to keep some are easier. Like if it was a full floral like this, I think it would be, easier. But when it has 4 panels that are exactly the same, you just have to figure out what it is that you want to keep. And also, when you fold this, right, and make it into a booklet, whatever you have on this side is going to be the front cover of your booklet. So just keep that in mind. So you might want to be like, okay, well, I might lose the word garden and just keep the word botanical. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Sorry. There we go. Maybe. Okay. And then that way I have more of the flower with the butterfly in the front. Oh yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay. And it's very simple. I just put Mod Podge down on my base surface and then I will gently put Mod Podge on the top. Now, I will say, at one point in time, I did buy those Mod Podge brushes that they sell. They sell you a dream that if you use those brushes, it's not going to tear your napkins. Well, it's a dream because it sure as heck does still tear your napkin. Now, I don't know if maybe I'm just heavy handed, which that could obviously be very true. There's no denying that. But I don't put a lot on either. I put a very thin layer on and then just set it down and then go from there. I also sew all the way around. I guess if I will say here is what I will say. If you're not going to sew, then just make sure it's adhered as much as you want it to be adhered. I would also say when you're doubling the index card, I use Scotch Permanent Glue Stick, which is a very good glue stick. If I'm not sewing, I probably would use my art glitter glue or something else as well, just to give it that stability to stick. I have too many napkins on my desk. Too many napkins. All right, I think I am going to. Oh, okay. Okay, and that's really it. I mean, that's the press it down. I always cut out before I Mod Podge. I do cut it out. I just make sure that I'm not cutting too close so that I'm not like messing up. But I also find that if you do cut too close and you cut some off maybe, sometimes it's okay. Because you can always patch it up. That's the great thing about the napkins is you can just patch it up. Again, I'm not cutting too close to the edge. I'm just leaving slightly because I just want to make sure it grabs. Good morning, guys. Good morning. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. We're just making little, what I call palm size little journals. Very simple, very easy. And this is the part where I was saying sometimes I might just be a little heavy handed, but I try to just get the edges more than anything. Just to make sure that it stays down. Oh, okay, hello. And you can see I'm not putting too much in. I don't do you guys use Mod Podge? Does anybody else on here use Mod Podge? Has it changed where the formula has changed? Because I know that when I started using it, it was one of those things. Thanks so much for the purchase. I appreciate you again. It was one of those things where I was like, I don't notice that it feels sticky. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not sticky to me. But I know a lot of people, I heard originally when I started using it, this is a few years ago now though, where they're like, I don't like it because it feels sticky. I don't know. Oh, have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day, friend. All right. If you did unlock anything, make sure you use those coupons if you're thinking of purchasing anything later on in the future. Keep it in your wallet so that if you jump into a show later, you're like, oh, it's there. Cool. I forgot I had a credit. Oh, that could be true. Yeah. No, that's true. That is very true. All right. So now we can just move this to the side and we will let it dry really quick. It should dry fairly quick. If not, we'll grab the heat gun and we'll go ahead and dry it just so that I can at least show you guys one. You guys will have to let me know what else you guys want to work on today. I know this is really quick, but I was thinking I'm happy to work on other things as well. Like I said, I'm working on a Cinderella journal at the moment. Good morning, friend. Guys, follow Never Miss Finds. Actually, follow everybody that's on here. If you're a seller, feel free to drop shows. If you have any raid trains, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, never miss, go ahead and mention them. Today, I am working on some little palm-sized journals for my Botanical Bliss raid train that I will be on next Sunday. Next Sunday, guys. Next Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. I forgot to tell my husband. I'm like, hey, by the way, don't plan anything Sunday afternoon because I have a show. Ah. He was like, thanks for letting me know. I'm like, you're welcome. Junk Journal raid train tomorrow evening. Oh, okay, hold on. I got to make sure that I'm following. I am now. Gotcha. Yes, Neva. Love it. Can you show your Cinderella journal? I can. It's literally in the beginning stages, but which won't take me long to show. So let me just grab it. I also finished a Beauty and the Beast journal that is spoken for, but I don't know if she's on here. My friend Susie. It is for her. But the Cinderella one will be in some capacity almost the same, right? In the sense of not the same information or, not the same images and stuff, but the same concept. So I take the VHS covers, right? The movie covers, and then like literally I just got all my papers together, and so this is the the inside of it. So I'll have two large pockets, vintage lace, some felt, sewed all the way around. And then, of course, I have the two signatures that I'm just working through. I like to do all my sewing before I will go in and sew the actual signatures in. And then anything that I glue or use double sided tape on, I will do that after I have the signatures sewn in. But most of my journals that are like, so let me show you guys. Hold on. Oh. So this is the Beauty and the Beast one that I just worked on and finished. But just to show you conceptually how the Cinderella one will end up being very similar to, like this, where you'll have a large tag, and then you'll have what I like to call my little pockets that I like to make with junk mailers, and then tags, and I use images from books that I fussy cut out. So, whoa, sorry, I'm missing stuff. Yeah, Annie. Yeah, if you're interested in the Cinderella one, it's not spoken for. I am happy. What I usually do is I finish the journal, I send you pictures. If you're interested, I will make you a listing um for it. So if you're interested in it, I'm happy to work through it. Like I said, send you pictures, and if you're interested, I make you a listing. If you're not interested, no big deal. I put it in a show. No problem. This one, she wanted this specific cover too, so I just so happened to have it, so I got very lucky, but she was willing to send me the cover because she had a VHS that was the same cover. So, but I happened to have the cover as well. Um, but yeah, I like I said, I take books and I have other pages that I will do fussy cuts and things to that extent in nature, and just kind of make it, a fun journal. Yeah, no, no problem. You are welcome. I have fun making these. I love working on themed journals. It kind of keeps my brain sane, I guess, instead of having to think too much. I started thinking about that. Maybe it's because at work I have to think so much. That's why I like themed things with journaling, because that way I don't have to think about it. It's a theme. As long as I stay, for me, in my mind, as long as I stay within that theme or close to that theme, then it helps me to move forward and create versus getting stalled and being like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. Right? Themed is such easier. I agree. Oh, thanks, Annie. I appreciate that. I do flip throughs of all my journals. So if you check my YouTube channel out, PSEN Creations on YouTube, and just like do a search of VHS, you'll see all the VHS ones that I've done in the past, so that you can get an idea of, again, conceptually, I, they're pretty much the same. Will I add, different pockets and stuff like that, like different styles and stuff? Yeah, pretty much. But sometimes it is, you know, all of the standard things that I like doing as well. All right, let's pick another napkin. Let's see. I like this one. Where do you guys get your napkins now that like Tuesday morning has closed down? Cuz that's where I used to get my napkins, is Tuesday morning, and they all shut down, excuse me, around me, and I'm just not willing to pay the prices that TJ Maxx has for napkins unless you can get them on clearance. Sometimes you can get them on clearance, but I will say we have Wegmans out here. I don't know if you guys know the Wegmans grocery store, but we have that out here, and every now and then they will go on sale for like 2.99 or something like that, and that's where like I got this one here. And actually this one might be from Wegmans too. Sometimes they're even like $1.99, which is crazy. But by the time I get to them, most of the time the pickings are non-existent. I think to myself, aside from crafters, do people really use this type of designed napkins? I didn't realize so many people use that. But last night I went to a reunion of people that worked together. When I first started working for the corporate office here in Maryland of the company that I work for, when I first moved here to Maryland, I was the group of people that I worked with, which was, I've lived in Maryland now for a little over 20 years. Um, Anyhow, the first group of people that I worked with had a reunion last night. For anybody that obviously is still around and we're still in contact with, because a lot of them are not with the company anymore. I should have taken some of her napkins now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, she had the hostess had um like napkins and plates that went all together. They were all matchy matchy. And they were blue floral, now that I think about it too. I should have at least taken the one that I grabbed to use. I didn't even think about that. That's kind of awkward though. I wouldn't do that. All right, so this one actually had 3 layers. So we removed the layers and this is going to be, see, this one's nice because it just kind of goes the whole span. So I can use the whole napkin without losing like edging and stuff like that. Welcome in, guys. We're just making, oh, I see a question. Hold on. Do you have Goodwill bins where you're at? I see them there often. I do not have Goodwill bins where I'm at, unfortunately. Maryland does not, well, no, nowhere close to me, like within an hour drive is there a Goodwill bin around me. I think that they just opened a Goodwill bin somewhere in Maryland, but I think it's like an hour and a half from where I live, if I remember correctly. But there are bookstores that you can go to, like Wonder Books and places like that that actually sell them as well. So that's where I get some of mine. And then also, if I ever am able to hit like a flea market or a yard sale and I get lucky, that's where I get some of those too. There was a Goodwill in West Virginia that I used to go to that's 45 minutes from where I live, that used to sell them. They don't carry them anymore. They don't accept the VHS tapes anymore, which is a bummer because honestly, that's probably where I got majority of my stash that I have is from that particular Goodwill store, but they don't accept them anymore. So now I'm just like, well, dang, that stinks. So if you're just coming in, guys, we are making palm size little journals. You can use your scrap papers in here, your pieces of papers that are smaller in size is what I like to call scrap papers. We're decoupaging napkins for the covers. We're using 5x7 index cards. I like to glue 2 together to add a little bit more sturdiness and stability to your cover. So that's what I was just doing there, is gluing 2 together. I use the Scotch Permanent Glue Stick. That's my favorite glue stick. I will sew all the way around. That's just what I do, but I don't think you have to. And I also am using Mod Podge to Mod Podge my napkin. So let's see. Yes, they look up there. Right? Oh, you're near Portland. You have 3 of them? Oh, Lord, you are so lucky. So lucky. Do you find good things at them? Do you have a YouTube video of how you bind the journals? Coach, do you mean bind the VHS ones or in general? I should have one, yes. But if I don't, I can definitely do when I bind this one, I can do a video and show. I've done a video to show how I make the cover use for the VHS ones. And I can definitely do a video to show how I bind it. Same name. Yep. PSEN Creations. In general, yes, Coach, I definitely have a video showing how I do the 3 pamphlet stitch is what I always use. Oh, thanks, Junk Journal Junkie. Yeah, I had so much fun making these. Like this is my Eeyore one, and he's light. He's very, very light, so he's not like even funny. He's not like even heavy or anything like that. He is super duper light, and he's got his little friends right here. Yeah, I had a lot of fun making these. The only one that's slightly heavy is, I would say, well, she's not. Oh, this one's a little bit heavier just because we have Huck and Blueberry, his little doggy, right? So, oh no, is it Cupcake? Is Cupcake his? Oh gosh, I can't remember now. Shoot, I can't remember his name or the. I get confused with his name and the kitty's, Strawberry's kitty's name. I can't recall. My very favorite, hold on, last thing, and then we can go back to the Mod Podging, is my Grumpy Bear one. I just so happen to have multiple of these guys because if I only had one, he would be not being sold. But I had multiple of Grumpy, who is my favorite Care Bear ever. And so I decided to just make a little charm with Mr. Grumpy. I think he's holding like a laptop or something. I don't know exactly what it is that he's holding, but it's gray, so I didn't think it was a book. I don't know. He's just cute. If you know me, you know I'm a Care Bear fanatic. Oh, I don't. I sold the wizard. That one was a custom one, but I will tell you, I can make another one because I have all the materials to make another one. So you let me know. I love Grumpy. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to show you guys something in a second. Yes. Okay. You got it. I'm going to show you something in a second too, Annie, regarding that. Hold on. Close your eyes. Ready? When I say I'm a Care Bear fan, guys, I'm not joking. I am a Care Bear. And I got the Fugglers too. The Fugglers, if you've heard of the Fugglers, right there. And some of them are vintage. Like some of these guys right here are vintage. These guys up here, they're vintage pillows from 1980s. I have the whole collection of the Wizard of Oz. So they did a collab with Wizard of Oz. So I have the Scarecrow and the geez, I can't remember. Is it Iron Man? Here's Dorothy. Whoop. Dorothy's right there. Do you guys see my Cabbage Patch Kids? They're being consumed by the I know. It's my husband bought me the Funko Pops 2 Christmases ago. So, they have a Halloween series. So you have Count Dracula and you have the what's the guy in the water, and Frankenstein, and the mummy is down here. Okay, hold your eyes. Ready? Sorry, I just had to show you guys. It's no joke. I love the Care Bears. No joke. No joke. Some people may say I'm obsessed. Call it what you want. I'm just enjoying my life right now. That's what I'm doing. So yeah. Okay, perfect, Annie. I see that you'll message me on the Wiz. Oh, hold on. I wanted to show you really quick. Hold on. This is what I wanted to show you really quick. So I have 2 covers for Wizard of Oz. I have this one. Okay, there's this one. And then I also have this one. So just let me know which one. I usually, this one's the Yellow Brick Road one, and then this one, you see more of the emerald. Was it called the Emerald Palace? Emerald Castle. I don't think it was Emerald Castle. Anyways, let me know which one you're interested in. Like I said, there's no obligation. I will make it. I have the stuff. My plan is to make all of them anyways at some point in time in my life. And I do have a lot of different, right? I have a lot of different ones that I've been able to acquire. So if you're interested in any of them, just message me. I will make them. I send you pictures, and if you're interested, I make a listing for you. Like I said, they all have a flip through on my YouTube channel of all the past ones that I've made, so it gives you an idea of what it would look like. Yeah, for sure. The city. Okay. Okay. All right. So again, back to making the little pocket size journal, palm size journal. And maybe it's just like an idea book. Maybe it's not a journal, right? Maybe it's just like an idea book, a notebook, a positive, maybe you're just feeling down. That's what I love about this, right? Is that you can make something that you can use in so many ways. Maybe you have stickers that you get, right? And you're like, okay, well, it'd be cool if I had somewhere to stick all the stickers that I get from different places that I'm not going to necessarily use in any other way. And these little books like this, if you create something like this, is cool to do that. And obviously, everybody can create this. Super easy. Yeah, so that you can do so that you can use watercolors and do some artwork in there. Absolutely. Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. So then you can reuse the stickers, right? Is that how that works? I've seen people do that. Um or reposition them or readjust them or do whatever you want with them. Switch them out maybe if you got tired of them. That's cool. That's a great idea. Yeah, sometimes there's just like, oh, you know what? Okay, I just thought of something. I love florals. My husband says I'm old because every time I see something that's floral, he's like, I'm sure that you would love that. And I'm like, absolutely. And I'm just like, I'm sure, he says, I'm sure that you would wear that. And I'm like, probably. I want to decorate florals, everything. I don't know why, but um, so I do have some. I may use this one for myself because I really like this pattern here. I'm more of a neutral floral kind of person though. I don't know if that makes sense because you're thinking neutral and floral don't really go. But maybe I won't use this one. One of these I'm going to use, and I like that idea. Maybe I will get some of that paper that you're talking about, chunky, um, because I do have some positive stickers, and I feel like it's always good to have something like that in your bag. Because I think we all go through phases of where we're feeling maybe not so positive. And I personally think it would be a good idea just to be able to say, oh, you know what? Let me go look at, some of the pages in my little book, and then it will improve your mood, at least for that moment in time. I'm gonna have to look into that now. Because sometimes when I'm at work, I'm not feeling so positive, okay? Because is it just me or just people just say stuff that sometimes makes you think why and what and how is that even possible? All right, we let this air dry and it actually did air dry on its own. You can hear, I don't know if you can hear or not, but it's completely dry. So I'm going to now go, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go and just cut off all the excess. Without actually cutting off the book itself or the index card. And sometimes it doesn't cut. Oh, look at that. It folded over. Oh, you got yours on Amazon? The paper? Okay, I'll have to look at that. I don't know where else I'd be able to get it anyways, right? We don't have like I think all our Staples and stuff closed. So the only other option we have is Walmart for me at least. Oh, I guess I could probably get it at well, Hobby Lobby's closed today. Joann's is closed or doesn't exist. Michael's might have it, but I'm not sure I want to pay that kind of price. I wonder if Artline sells it. I do like to support people as much as I can if I can. Sometimes it's just not. I understand they have to make a profit as well. So Maybe I'll check Art Lines. Art Lines is on here. If you guys don't know, she has a brick and mortar in Pennsylvania, I believe, as well. So, but she has shows, and she sells a bunch of art supplies and a lot of Tim Holtz. If you're a Tim Holtz fan, okay. So that's. So let me just go really quick. I'm just going to use whatever thread I have in my machine. Um, Usually I just use a neutral thread that will go with everything, but I'm just going to use the thread that I have in the machine. I think it'll be fine. And I'm just going to go sew real quick. Okay. Yeah, she has a lot of inks too. Yeah. All right, give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm just right here. Okay, it's sewn all the way around. Okay, and see this right here, it's a little bit lifted. Do you see that? So you can either put a little bit more Mod Podge, or you can just do the glue stick, or you can use your art glitter glue or any other glue that you have just to make it glue down more. Or okay. Sometimes the edges do that. Okay. And then I always like to round my corners of them. It gives it a, do you see the difference? Like if you kept it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all, but I just think the rounding of the edges just makes it look like a slightly nicer. So we're going to round the edges. I bought this over 20 years ago when I was going to be a scrapbooker, and I never became a scrapbooker. I created one scrapbook, that's it. And I think I started a second one for my daughter, um, and just never. But then about 5 years ago, I found junk journaling, and I was like, oh my God, I can still use this. I don't even know why I still had it, to be honest with you. Well, I had all my scrapbooking stuff. So now, if you wanted to be fancy, you could obviously go and give it that look, right? Of more finished, polished. It doesn't look not finished or polished if you don't do this. And what I usually do is I make all my covers, sew on my covers, and then I will work on all the papers, right? So I usually put between 10 and 15 page pieces of paper in here, some type of paper, right? I do about 10 or 15 of them because that allows me to either use the staples. If I wanted to do a 3 pamphlet stitch, I can probably you can add more, but if you're only going to use a stapler, and or if you're going to go and sew it in like this one here, I just ran it through my sewing machine, right? So you can see here, I ran it through my sewing machine. If you do too many pages, your sewing machine will mess up. This one was a sewing machine as well. So again, this one I did a coffee filter in the middle of both of them too, as little pockets. So this was a sewing machine. And then this one, I did a stapler. So they call them a long arm stapler. So 2 staples. You can do more than 2 if you want, but you see how it's pretty hidden. You can't really tell that there's staples there. Let me show you what they look like in case you haven't seen it. I usually sell these for $3. Oh shit. Shoot, sorry. My whole little bucket thing fell, but this is what they call, I mean, I believe that that's what they call it, a long arm stapler. So what it is when you turn it this way, then you have room to then staple, right? So that I can do that, pull it out, put it right here, boom, staple. If you kept it this way, you're limited, right? To, it wouldn't reach because the crease is over here and this only staples right here, right? That's as far as you can go, is the depth that you have here. But when you turn it, you have all the depth that you need. You can get this on Amazon. The movie VHS ones, I usually put up for 28. 28. Amazon is the only place that I can find it now. The only place that I can find it is Amazon. So I also look out because sometimes they have it on sale. This one and Fabri-Tac is what I use for my fabric glue. So sometimes Amazon will have deals going on for like the 8-ounce bottles and then like 4 packs of the glue sticks. So whenever that happens, I buy 2 of the deal. And that usually keeps me going through the whole year for the most part. If I crafted more, I bet you it wouldn't last me the whole year. But unfortunately, with having a 9 to 5 as well, it's sometimes hard to get crafting done. I'm trying to see if I have I don't have them. No. I did notice that Artlines has in her shop that Art Glitter Glue has, do you guys all know Art Glitter Glue, right? That they have a fabric glue now. I don't know if anybody's used it, and do you guys think that it's any good? So anyways, we'll add paper here. And then we'll move on to another one. Let's see, what do we got here? Is it dry yet? Nope, still not dry. You can still feel it. It's not sticky, so there's not any wetness, but I can feel that it's not stiff, right? So I know that it's not fully dry. Now, again, if you had a heat gun or a blow dryer, I used a blow dryer for a very long time until my husband bought me a heat gun. Something about him not wanting me to start a fire or something. I don't know. No, just be very careful if you use a blow dryer, guys, because obviously it's not meant for. You have to be careful when you use a heat gun too, but it's not meant for paper. Just like when we dry paper in the oven, make sure you're keeping it at a certain degree because it's not meant for what we as crafters decide to use it for. Here's another beautiful, nice, bright one. I like that. I think we all need some brightness as we're slowly approaching the cold months, the fall, which is gorgeous and beautiful, FYI, but we lose all the color in certain states, right? I mean, it's still, today here, it's only supposed to be 80, but rain all day, but 80. So I'm pulling out the layers. I bought Eileen's clear fabric glue, and I do not. No, I agree. Junk journal junkie. I hate it. Is this the one you bought? Because this is the one I can't stand. I don't know if there's another one that they have, but I thought, okay, this is cool. And I'm like, absolutely not, but I can't, I still have it. I guess I just need to use it up, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I just, ugh. Yeah, and I agree. I do like their tacky glue as well. So I have it as well. I just, again, I gravitate to certain things just as I'm grabbing things, but their tacky glue is really good. But when I talk about the deals that Amazon has, like this is the big 8-ounce bottle, and obviously, so you would get two of these big ones and one of these small ones, and that's the deal that they have usually. Not usually, they have it like I feel like it's like once a year or maybe I know I think it's only once a year that I've seen it, and that's when I try to jump on buying. So I have two of these big ones that I haven't even touched yet. Yeah, it's very, very thin. That one that I have that I just showed you is very, very thin, and I just don't I need a little bit of stickiness and tackiness to it, right? And less a little bit of thickness to it. I can't have you be that thin. I can't have you be that thin for gosh sake. Do you guys what do you guys do with the white of your napkins? Do you guys keep the whites of your napkins? Do you guys work with napkins? If you work with napkins, what do you do with the white part of the napkin? So this one was another two-layer one or three ply, which means I had two layers of white and then the top layer of the actual full design. And this I like because I don't know if you can see, but it does have a little bit of the design on it, whereas the top white layer doesn't. So I don't know if you can see the difference in the color. It's very, very light, but it's really cool because again, it just adds a little bit of contrast. If you're like when I do my tags, I use food boxes as the base, and then I put like a vintage book page or something along that line on the top of it, and then I'll add a layer of the napkins, one of the two. And then on top of that, I will do either um, a fussy cut of some kind, like glued on with like stamping, or sometimes it's just stamping, and I use my color pencils to color in the stamping. But that's mainly what I use it for. Let's see. I see some people make pieces of paper like rice. Yep, yep. I've made. I swear I had a piece here somewhere, but oh, here it is. Here's. I like to call it full faux mulberry paper. So I had some dried up flowers, and this is just using the whites of so just layered, right? Just a bunch of layers of the whites of the napkin, and then just dried up flowers that I had. So yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. This I do have on my YouTube, I think, a video of making that. Although I may have called it the wrong thing. I always called it something the incorrect thing. All right, let's make this one. Let's glue our so for those of you coming in, I'm using Scotch Permanent. Okay, we have two index cords to add a little bit of strength to that. And if you wanted to, you can do the lines on the outside. So if you wanted to have, well, that's probably not a good example, but like if you wanted to have lines over here so that somebody can use this as a writing as spot to that front and the back, you can do that and have the lines on the outside. So, you know, you can have like line here and then line here, and then obviously you wouldn't see anything there. This would be the inside, so you would flip it this way and it would be like that, right? Yeah, because the napkin would be on the side where there would be nothing. So that's an option too, if that's something that interests you in having the little booklet. Yeah, I really you know what? That is a great idea about the whole laminating thing too, because that will add a little bit more sturdiness to it too. I've never tried it that way, but oh, and then you can do, I don't even know how that works, so I don't know how easy it is to do the elastic style. I don't do the elastic style. I always heard that it's called the Moderna style, where you use elastic so that you can interchange the papers. Maybe I'll try that. I don't know how you would do it with something like this though, because you would have to have you'd have to have two things here. Okay, so you would have to have two things here so that it wouldn't look too awkward. It would just make the pages more because you would have to make like a spine in essence, right? Like maybe a half an inch spine or maybe an inch spine so that the little eyelets can, because I don't think one eyelet would be enough because then you would have the the elastic completely showing on the outside, which would make it bulky. Versus if you did two eyelets here and two eyelets here, right? Then you would run the elastic in a way where it would just be run at the bottom and at the top, and it wouldn't go the whole length of the spine. Hi, Miss Amy. How are you, friend? I bought a used laminator and haven't tried it yet. I think that's something to try. Good morning. Made paper and added a bunch of her. Oh, I love that. That's such a great idea, Venti Pup. This is the time, guys. If you're going to do something like that, go pick your flowers now. Let them dry out, especially if you're in an area where obviously the flowers, as we move and shift into spring, I'm sorry, fall, geez, Louise, spring. We're a ways away from spring, the next one at least. As we shift into fall and then winter and the flowers dissipate and are no longer available, go pick your flowers now, put them somewhere where they will dry up for you. And then once they're dry, then you can use them to sprinkle and layer, right? You don't have to do the whole thing. Like you can do it on something like this, right? Have this, put a layer of Mod Podge down, put some dried flowers on, then put some layers of your white napkins down, right? As a cover base, a little bit more Mod Podge, and then you all of a sudden have a beautiful little design in the background for yourself. So that's another idea, but this is the time to go pick those flowers because did we even do it yet? We haven't even done it yet. Jeez. Okay. Let's get this one done. Let's get this one done. Good morning, guys. Good morning. My name is Paula from Peace and Creations. I hope you guys are having a fabulous Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Why is it the weekend goes by so quick? So quick. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even get out on the water this week, which is a little sad, but it is what it is. I feel like we're losing. We don't have much time left here. I will not go out on the water if it's not at least in the high 80s to the 90s. That's just how I am. And I just go paddle boarding, guys. It's a little lake that we have near us. I go paddle boarding. It's not like if I'm going on a yacht or a boat. It's just paddle boarding. But I have a great time. It's very soothing and peaceful. Last weekend I was out there for 2 hours. I was exhausted, but it was very relaxing. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep at one point. And I started drifting, and then I heard people, and that's what woke me up. This is going to be a really pretty one. This is such a bright colored one. I love this one. I love napkins. I do feel like I have way too many of them though, but I gotta go through them. Good morning, guys. Good morning. We are just doing a craft and chat today. I hope everybody's doing well. Does this one look upside down to you guys? I'm gonna have to figure that out. Maybe not. Maybe not. We're just making little, what I call palm-sized journals. Just decoupaging them. On a 5x6 index card that has been doubled. So 2 5x6 index cards. Decoupage them on. And then we will sew around. And then we'll add paper, and it's just a little journal. And what paper you add, you can add whatever you want. You can make a little glue book, a little mini glue book. You know? That's it. I feel like this is probably the best way for it to go. I think I like that. Wait, no. No, we're gonna go this way. So this is gonna be the front right here. Yeah. Well, we can decide that later. I just have to decide that before I put the papers in, to be honest with you. Because once I sew it, it doesn't matter still. I can still decide what direction I want it. Let's check our other one out. It is now dry. Remember the sound that we heard from the first one that we did. So this was the first one that we did. Then we sewed around, or I went and sewed around, and then I circled the edges, but it's just the index card, right? It's coffee dyed. That's why it looks that way on the inside. You don't have to coffee dye the index cards. Let's see. I have way too many of everything. I need to stop buying. Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. And yet here I am. I'm like, I will say something. So yesterday I did have time before I had to leave. And they did open a Goodwill not too far from my house recently, which I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, but I think it's an okay thing because I'm realizing that I need to stop. But to the point about what I'm trying to make is that when my husband got up, I'm like, "Hey, do you want to go to the Goodwill with me?" He's like, "No, you can just go." I'm like, "Okay." And then I decided not to go, which is probably a good thing because I decided not to go because I started to think, what do you really need? Well, I don't think we ever need anything when we're going, right? We just want to see what's there that we might need. But I did not go. I also have not gone to, we have a reuse art store, or yeah, a craft and art store that's run by one of the county facilities that partners with the library or public libraries here in the little town that I live in. And they're only open every Saturday. And I decided uh, that I have not gone the last 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks actually. I have not gone, which is huge because again, I get so much from there as well. It's one of those places where I love it because you just search and search and then you find things and then but I am very careful in the sense that I don't try to take everything. Listen, there are times where I probably could have taken everything that they had, but I don't. I take like, if there's a bulk of paper that's maybe colored, right? I may take like 10 or 15 pieces of the paper only. I won't take like the whole thing because I also want to make sure that other people are able to enjoy it. But if there's something that's really like lace or something like that, I think all bets are off. Yeah. Well, and here, Venti Pup, here's the kicker. It's pay what you can. Now, I don't judge people. It is you whatever, right? I do try to pay, give a little bit more because I know it's going back into the facility, but I'm pretty sure because I've seen it, right? Where some people go and take advantage of it and they get a lot of stuff and don't pay a lot. And again, don't know their situation, so maybe that is all that they can pay. But I would also say that I hope that they're not taking advantage of it because they're just hurting the place that they enjoy going to as well, that they're getting stuff from, because that could lead to them closing down one day because they're not getting, you know, um, the funding is not there, right? This is what keeps them going, plus the donations of the people. So yeah, it is. It is very cool. Oh, that's who it's meant for. That's the whole purpose of it being there. And you see kids right from college and students coming in, and I love that. But you also see older people coming in as well. That again, not to say, but think about it this way too. If you're offering like a doing classes for whatever it is, for maybe like seniors or kids, and you go there and you're like, well, I need 200 bottle caps. Chances are you're going to be able to find the bottle caps there, which is what makes this place so amazing, right? Is that they have those little things where maybe you're trying to show some type of art form using bottle caps, right? And you can go there and find them and pay what you can, especially if you're offering these classes free. So that's where I love the concept of it. for all these people. Love it, love it, love it. It's a yeah, it's an art and craft reuse store is what they call it. All right, we got this one done. I can go sew this one too. So let me go sew this one, and then you guys will see the concept of just like the other one. Do you guys have any questions on anything? I feel like this is slightly boring now. It's a rinse and repeat at this point. Oh, my bobbin ran out. Okay, I'm coming. Sorry, I had to redo it. Okay, my bobbin ran out. So we got pink from here to here, and then blue the rest of the way. Does that bother you? Would that bother you? It doesn't bother me. You know why? Because it's a junk journal. And I'm not saying it needs to look junky, but it does not look bad. I'm just amazed that I'm able to change the bobbin that quickly now. I just used whatever bobbin had. I had thread on it, so it looks good. That's the front of it. We're gonna round our corners. Where is? Oh yeah. Well, that's my fault. Obviously, I did not have enough on it and did not pay attention. Although that one I was using for, oh, I'm gonna have to redo that one. I'm using that one for my Cinderella one. So I got two. Okay, so this is going to be our front. We're just going to fold it there. And just like that, we have a cover. And just like that, we have a cover. So you can make these as intricate as you want, to be honest with you. I mean, I keep them pretty plain just because, you know, also the price point that I put them at. That's the whole concept of them, right? Is that you can do more with them once you have them as well. But I mean, you can definitely get more creative, as creative as you want with them. It's very, very fun. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions on anything else? Anything. Like I said, I'm going to have these during my Botanical Bliss raid train that I'm in next Sunday. I am in the afternoon. Usually I am the morning person, but I signed up for the afternoon. This is the other one that we're working on. Hi, Miss Tracy. How are you, friend? I hope you are doing well. And Greg, I hope you're both doing well. All right. Let's see. Do you guys want to see? I just finished a sewing themed one that I kind of kept pretty light from a decoration perspective. But do you guys want to see? Do you guys want to do a quick flip through of it? Are you guys interested in that? I have not done a flip through yet for my YouTube video. I need to do that. I'll probably do that later today. Yes? Okay. Jess, you do amazing sewing themed ones already. What are you talking about, woman? It's nothing different than what you do, friend. So this one here's what I'll say about this one, okay? I'm not too crazy about it, to be honest with you. I don't love the cover, and I think it's the material that I use to make the cover that I am not in love with. But you know what? It is done. I'm not going to go back now. Um, if someone's interested in it, they're interested in it. If someone's not interested in it, well, I will just figure that out. But let me see. Hold on. Paisano's Pizza is over here texting me saying we have a special going on. That's cool. I love pizza. All right. So I used I don't even know what year this one was. Oh, 1979. Little secret. That's the year I was born. I used a 1979 McCall's sewing pattern. This is just a piece of the sari silk from one of those rugs that I picked up from Five Below a few years back. You know, you can take it apart, and I just use them as ties. I just thought it went. So that's what I used. Um, it obviously just comes right off. I just tied it up. This is pattern 6973. I use the front of the pouch as the front of the journal and the back of the pouch as the back of the journal. And then I have some vintage lace on the spine. Here's where oh, thanks, Jess. I appreciate you. Here's where I'm just like the cover. So I used a manila. I don't even know if I have it. I do have it. Hold on. I used a manila, one of these manila folders, right? Very sturdy, very thick. Plus it's covered, right? So we have the sewing pattern that is also on top of a manila, what is it called? The manila divider. Okay. So and then the inside I have the tissue paper, right? So it's sturdy. I just don't like how it feels. Does that make sense? Do you guys ever have something where it's in your hand and you're just like, I don't know, I just don't like how it feels. I don't like how this feels. And maybe it's just because it's all paper, right? It's all paper. Um, so it lays flat. I love that, right? That's great. That's beautiful. Let me see if I can get the whole thing though for you guys. Let me see my belly. Say hi. So I used a vintage hanky right here and here. And then I just used, Jess, does that look familiar? You don't like the envelope feel either? Yeah. Guys, I got these. So Jess, I don't know if she has any more. So stick with Jess. Had actually, they're right here. She had some vintage ribbon, right? That she made into double-sided, into washi tape, right? She used double-sided tape and made it into washi tape. And they're like what, 1 inch? I think they're like 1 inch, the 1.5 inch, I think. So they're just beautiful, and I use them on this journal. I thought that they went really nicely, but this is yeah, this is just a manila folder that I backed, or I used the backing of a manila folder, and then I just used the insert instructions of this pattern, um, fabric pattern pouch, and then I just did some stamps of some sewing notions. And it's a large journaling card that fits beautifully in this pocket right here. Right? Everything's sewn on. Um, Same concept here, sewing Notion stamps, and then this was the instructions of the actual sewing pattern. All paper does feel different when you're using. Yeah, no, I agree, Tracy, on that. Um, so my junk mailer envelopes, I love using junk mailer envelopes, right? So I make these what I call the side loading ones. So this is a food container. It's brown, and I just, like I said earlier, what I would do is I take the food container, I cover it with some book page, whether vintage or not vintage. Sometimes it's music sheet. It just depends on what kind of I reach to at the time. I usually don't do music sheet because usually on most of my journals, my first page with my first little pocket that I like to add, it with the exception of my little golden books, it's always a music sheet. It's always a vintage music sheet. So I just feel like adding music sheet with a music sheet, I don't know, just not me. So anyways, I used the tissue paper and then I just some cuts from and some sewing stamps, sewing Notion stamps. Here I just used a little sheet of music because it said it had some words here on the envelope, so I covered that with the music sheet, covered that with the tissue paper from the sewing pattern, made sure it had some kind of wording on it, and then stamped thread and then the sewing machine. Like I said, I kept this one very light. I have some Quilt World book pages in here. One thing that I did do, and I think I'm going to continue to do it because I really like it, is I did stenciling on every page, on almost every page. Let me rephrase that. On almost every page that is my blank pages that I love to keep there for writing, I did some type of stenciling. So, oh, I also did it on the coffee filter. But I think it turned out really nicely. I think it, here's another sheet from the pattern itself, some writing paper. This is another magazine. I have a little bit of the tape down here too, Jess. I made a ruffle using the tissue paper and covered his head. Here's a little pocket, right? I used a little bag that I had, and here's a little pocket. Now, this is a reproduction image, so this is, I will call that out. I like to call that out. This is some vintage fabric that I had, and I just sewed it on. I believe that's an index card that I used. And I just liked how it looked, and it will go, just goes right back in here. Here's what I'm talking about, right? It just adds something to it, and I kept the colors very, I try to keep the colors neutral to match the colors on the front. This is from another quilting magazine, or no, this is a work basket. This is a work basket magazine. Final reduction cell, magnificent hammered iron peacock wall. Guys, peacock wall plaques, $1.49 each. $1.49 each for peacock wall plaques, guys. Mind blowing. Wait, each of them measured 20 by 14. So it's not like they were itty bitty. 20 by 14. You can get the pair for $2.98 plus 25-cent postage. And you get full money back guarantee. I mean, I'm going to send it in and see if I can get them. I'm just joking. I'm not going to, but good gosh. I love it. Nope. Lupita, first of all, not a stupid or dumb question. No question is ever that. FYI, you use the same needle. The only thing I will recommend is if you're ever going to sew through like a jean material or a very even a upholstery material that's thicker, regular upholstery, fine. Much like a real thicker upholstery, like a jean material. Like if you're going to do a junk journal, right? And you're going to cover it with like jean material, like blue jean material, then use the special needle that they have for that. It's just blue jean, a blue jean needle. It's a tougher needle. It's thicker. It will go through it easier. Everything else, you can use whatever you want. One recommendation I will say is if you're using glue, to adhere something and then going to sew it, make sure that your glue is completely dry, because after time that glue will gunk up your the needle and the inners where the needle's going in and out for to catch the bobbin, and it will cause, eventually it'll just cause jam up there and you'll have to just fix it. It's not something that's not irreversible. It's just a pain in the butt because it always happens usually for me when I'm like in a time crunch to finish something and need my sewing machine. So I hope I answered the question that you asked. No, no problem. Yeah. Um, ledger, reproduction invoice. Here's just another more modern ledger with a little stencil, right? Some vintage lace right here. This is another page, I think, from the work basket. No, the quilt. This is the quilters, the quilter one. Again, just a little bit of stenciling there. This is just a little flip up with a little bit of the lace. For anybody that's still here that did buy that trim lace that I had in the thing, you're going to get the one that's more of a beige color because I had more of that. That's why I was okay to share it. This, the white one, I didn't have a lot of the vintage little trim. So, but that's it. It's this trim right here. And in this pocket, I just added just a coffee dyed guest check. And then this is actual vintage. It was a bra extender. I'm sorry, a brassiere repair. And it does have one left there, but I just love the packaging. So you're going to get that. And this is just a sticker. It wouldn't be a journal of mine if I didn't have some type of sticker in it because I love stickers. You guys have any questions? Let me know. Just flipping through just for fun, guys. And then just, again, just a little bit of stamp, stenciling. This work basket was from summer of 1985. So Quilt World. Sorry, this is Quilt World. I keep saying the wrong one. 1985. Doesn't seem like that far ago. The work basket. Okay, here's a work basket one, right? And this was the one where you can get the 2 peacocks for $2.98. 1969. August of 1969. I wasn't even born. Photo coloring finishes, weaving supplies, sewing supplies, school supplies, salesman wanted. Oh, if you want to be a salesman. Oh, okay. You're selling Bibles. Only if you can. Real estate for sale. Okay, I'm done. Sorry. I just love looking through this stuff. Here I did really light stenciling, like you can barely see it, but because of how the coffee dyeing happened too. My hair's all over the place, sorry. Here's the other side of the little envelope. I did add, this is from a different, I just had it in my stash of sewing ephemera. So I just added it to the side right there, and I made this a top loader instead of a side loader. And I just did a little bit of stenciling and collaging on this one, but it's just another little journaling card. This is the other side of the magazine with some more vintage lace. I'm not sure why I added this here. I think I may have messed something up here. Oh, the holes. There's little holes here. So I thought, let me just add some fabric, little tabs there. I don't know. Ah, here's another vintage. Another stencil. Yeah. So, and then the end I added. So I made a little pocket using a piece of the instruction pamphlet that comes in the sewing pattern. Added some vintage crocheted trim here. And then in here, I just added some ephemera. So these are guest, I think these are like salesman receipts. I'm pretty sure I got these from you, Tracy, when I bought a few of the packs that you were selling early on of some of your vintage ephemera. And this is just some type of card. And this is a giant flash card of some kind. You can see it's very aged. I don't know what year it is. They look familiar. Yeah, well, they would. I'm like 99% sure I got those from you. 99% sure. And I had already shown you guys. And then here's just a stencil. So anyways, that's that guy. I just wanted to show you guys it if you were interested in seeing it. Like I said, not crazy about the material that I use for the cover, but it's still a very nice cover. It's just the material in my hands just doesn't feel the bestest in my hands. But it's a big size, lots of room to be creative for sure. It has some decorations, but not too much, especially if you want to do your own thing. I wasn't sure about the tie either, but I think it goes okay. I think it goes okay. I was like mixed between I had some reds, but they weren't this red, so that's why I was like, I don't, you know, maybe I'll keep what I have. Oh, thanks, Tracy. I appreciate you. All right, guys. If you guys don't have any other questions, we might look to see who we could raid on to. Again, today we had just a little bit of a quick crafty tutorial on making the covers for these little what we call palm size journals using 5x7 index cards, some napkins, and of course our friend the Mod Podge. Eventually I did sew around, but you do not have to sew around. And of course the inside, this is the great thing about it, really honestly, you can definitely use scrap papers. Here, yes, it looks like I use, paper that's all in the same uniform size, but you don't have to do that. If you have a whole bin of decent size scrap papers where someone can, hold on, I'm trying to pull some out so that you guys can see. Like this is my scrapbook, my scrap paper bin. Like I have things in here that I could use, right? So that I don't have to go and cut up. And just because they're not the same size doesn't mean that I can't. This is a little shorter, but that's okay. I can still do that. And again, add that in here. Obviously cut it to size as far as this part goes, right? But it doesn't have to be exactly, uniformed size all throughout that's what makes it fun to be creative with. Or somebody had a great idea to use the papers that you can make it a sticker book, right? Where it's that the paper where you can remove stickers, right? I like that idea. I'm actually going to look into that because I would love to, like I said, make one of these mine so I can put in my laptop bag so that when I go to work, I have some positive stickers or stickers that have positive thoughts on them. And I like to have something like that sometimes to reference back to if I'm having a tough day. You can add watercolor paper if you're a watercolorer, right? And then you can just do. I heard that they have little watercolor sets that are itty bitty ones. I've seen like commercials for them, and people just pull them out, and they're really small ones. And that way you can, like, you don't have to take like a whole big giant set of watercolors if you're on the go, but wanted to. So there's just an array of what you can put in there, guys. All that to say, I think I'm going to call it a day. Let's see who we can raid. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Sunday, and I hope you have a very positive week coming up for yourself with whatever it is that you're going to focus on. Just focus on being as positive as you can in the world we live in, guys. All right, we usually go ahead and raid into Beach 72, but Crafty Chick and Lady is also on. If there's anybody else that you guys think, oh, there's Sandra's Creations. Cover Story Collections. You guys have any recommendations? Do you guys not care? Lulu Blue TC. I think I got some stuff from them, like some vintage things from them. You know what? We're going to go to Lulu Blue. No, we're going to go to Cover Story Collections. She has 5 viewers. Let's go ahead and just say hi to her. Let's check her out. I don't know who she is either, but she's in the scrapbooking. So thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.